back to Wendy's Colouring, and today is August 2024's finished colouring pages. Unsurprisingly, I did not get through my ridiculous pile that I had built up for August colouring plans, because no person could have, unless they sat here 24/7 and didn't move. And I didn't do that. I had other things to do in life, because you do, don't you? Yeah, so I'm going to show you what I did do. I've got a whip remaining. These were whips last month that I've done that I'll show you in a second. Let me just shift them out of the way. But I did start in this one, Peter Pan by Fabiana Attanasio. I've stupidly not labelled the page, but hopefully it's fairly obvious. Yes, it is. So yeah, I started this one. As you can see, I've been working on the background, and I've just started putting a little bit of colour into the flowers. So the background so far, I kind of wanted her going through kind of the sky, kind of feel like it was moving. I don't think I'm completely there yet, but it's a start. The background is in, how do I put them away? Ooh, no, I've not, thankfully. In these, so they're Pip pens, but they're the bigger ones, so ignore my messy swatch. So it's, yeah, these ones. Helpfully you can't read that at all because it's white print on a quite light pen, isn't it? Let's go for pink that you can actually see. So yeah, these ones, Pitt Artist Pens, dual markers. They have a brush, which is what I've used, and it also has like a chunky nib, fine nib, but it's not fine, it's quite chunky. So they have those as well, and I've literally just used two of the shades, so I think most of it is in this light one. What colour is that? Ice blue. And I'd started to put a little bit of the sky blue in out of this set that I've not used a huge amount, but they are good for big backgrounds. Obviously they're not going to be super kind of alcohol marker smooth next to each other, but for this kind of effect that was okay. And it just started off this kind of streaky effect, I suppose, and I've started working into it with my colour pencils. So I've started with a bit of luminance on the flowers, and I've started to put a bit of luminance, darker blue, and a little bit of white into the background, and I think there are some sections that I still want to add a bit more white into it. I'm going to do her wings quite sparkly, I think, and then obviously she's got kind of quite natural looking bodice on. And so whatever I do here, I think is going to match up with here, I think is my plan. But yeah, always love a Fabiana Attanasio book. So yeah, going to do that one. I don't think I've worked in this one up to now. No, I don't think I have. So my first page in Peter Pan is on the way. Quite enjoying working on that by Fabiana. Then a whip last month in Magical Dawn. I'd started this, I think I did show you. I think hadn't I done these flowers or done those flowers? I'd done one of the flowers anyway, like it matters. It doesn't really matter, does it? I'd done some of the flowers anyway last time. Don't rip, please, thank you. Last time I'd showed it. Yeah, I know they're just kind of fun pages, these, for me. I do enjoy doing these kind of coloured flowers, bit of fun. It's got a bit of, as you can see, a bit of glitz on it, on some of the bugs, on the butterflies, and I think in the odd bit of the flowers, or maybe I'm imagining it. No, I don't think I did put any in the flowers now I'm looking. I think it's just on the butterflies and on the insects, the sparkle. But yeah, I've enjoyed working on that. I have thrown lots of things at it. Holbein coloured pencils, most of it is in Holbein. I quite like doing flowers with my Holbeins. The grabby acrylic markers for some of the outlines. I've used the metallic bits that you can see is Renaissance from Etsy, her metallic watercolour paints. They might be a mix of the chrome and something else. I have quite a few of her sets, but I have them all in a tin now together, so I'm never totally sure which is out of which set anymore, but it's from Renee, from Renaissance on Etsy. A couple of Tule Art pens. I think it was for some of the paler pink that I wanted, just a finer line. I've been using that Artline Decorite. Can I see it? Because I can't remember what it's called. Oh, I can't get to it, but it's a white pen that I got last month from Amazon Japan, but I think it's Decorite white pen, and they're quite good for kind of softer highlights. So if you want to add a little bit of highlight into something, if your highlight that's remaining is not quite as bright, it's not quite Posca in your face bright, so it's quite useful for that. And I have used a bit of Posca as well. So yeah, chucked quite a few bits at it, and I think I've used a Signo Sparkling for on the bugs, or they might be dual hybrids, but I've definitely used some kind of pen on those little bugs as well. That's not watercolour, so yeah, some probably Signo Sparkling, knowing me. But yeah, quite fun. I enjoyed it in my Magical Dawn by Hannah Carlson. Then another massive whip that I had last month. I'm going to put that bookmark away in the drawer before I lose it. There we go. Was in Serene. Obviously this is quite a big book, although I kind of feel like we're zoomed out a bit too far. Although I probably need to turn that back in a minute. Idiot. Yeah, not worked in this for a long time because it's quite a substantial sized book. I'm not even going to go and try and pronounce that because I'll make a mess of it. But I had been working on this page. We are going to need to zoom back out. Now I've just zoomed up back in again. What an idiot. Yeah, I've been working on this page. So I've done, as you might have seen this last month, I'm not totally happy with her skin, I've got to say. It still looks a bit grainy. I'm not totally loving the colour. But it is where it is. And I've worked a bit more back into some of the flowers because I kind of felt like they'd faded a little bit from last time I'd been working on this. So it had in the gold background. The gold background is Winsor & Newton gold ink. And the look of it, I know it does look nice on camera, but the texture of it, which I'm thinking it's going to be tricky to show, it's a little bit rough texture. It gets like, when you layer one coat over the other on it, it gets kind of like a bit of texture, which I don't love. But it does look good, doesn't it? It has got a lovely sheen on it. But it just, yeah, if you're going to use it, just be aware. I think it basically exaggerates the texture of the paper. I'm not quite sure, but it does have a bit of texture, which I don't love. It's not too bad because it's the back page. And these pages are quite thick, so I'm thinking it'll be alright when I do the page in front of it. I can always put a few bits of card in if not. But yeah, this is in Holbein's for the flower work, and for a good chunk of her clothing. Her hair is Luminance, because that Luminance will keep a slightly sharper point for a little bit longer than my Holbein's will, and I prefer those for her. I think these were Luminance as well, the little green bits, and possibly this dark purple I think is a Luminance purple as well. These are definitely Holbein's, but yeah, a mixture of both on there. Artix paint pens, so this red background is one of those new 36 brush marker acrylic ink pens that they've sent me. That obviously there's a video on my channel for August about them. So yeah, this is just 2 coats of those pens, and gosh, it's so much easier when you're doing an acrylic background to just be able to do it with a pen. I was kind of like, oh, I'm using quite a lot of ink on this, but then on the other hand I was like, yeah, but I can't be bothered to paint it, and I've got to get in all these little bits down here, so this is making it easy. So yeah, so I just did it one direction and then deliberately brushed in another direction, and it's given quite a good finish on it, I think, overall. But yeah, they were really handy for that. And I quite like the contrast between, and the black. The black is also one of those new Artix pens as well. Again, perfect for doing something like that. Nice dark ink. I think that's only 1 coat of those as well. I don't think I did that twice. I did do 2 coats on the red just because I didn't want any kind of line work showing, but I don't think I did with the black because it was already pretty jet black. So both of those are just those pens, just on their own, nothing else. Is that everything? There's probably a bit of Signo Sparkling somewhere, although I'm not seeing where. Oh yes, in the little things at the bottom. Oop, I can get hold of this book in those little discs at the bottom. And yeah, that's it. Just mainly pencil, a bit of acrylic art, acrylic pen. I've missed a bit at the top there. Look at that, disgraceful. How did I do that? I'm not touching it in now. It's going to stay like that. But yeah, finally my first page finished in here. I quite enjoyed doing all these beads and clothing and all of this. Mixed a few colours on here because I kind of didn't want to get out of this palette that I'd started, so I'd done all these flowers in this kind of pink purpley tone, so I kind of wanted to keep that all the same because I knew I wanted this background gold, black, red even before I started on this. That I'd kind of pictured this background like that, so I didn't want loads of kind of oranges and lots of other colours going on here. I wanted to keep this kind of pink, purple, gold, black, red, because I think any more than that would have been a bit much, wouldn't it? I wasn't sure what to do about these things though for a while. In my head I was going to do these metallic, but because I'd done that metallic I think that's going to look a bit strange, so I just kind of kept these the same, and then these kind of chains and stick things, I don't know what they are, whatever these are supposed to be, I kept them all the same tone just because I didn't want too much colour, because you know me, I do like a bit of colour and sometimes I can go a bit mad, and I thought I need to kind of keep control of myself and not bung a load of oranges and some blues and you know what I'm like, I get a bit carried away. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. I'm just a bit, yeah, I think the problem I have with this book is that the tonal work on the skin, as you can see, is stunning, it's beautiful, but when you come to put colour in, there's a lot of grey, and you can still kind of see the grey through the skin tone, which I don't love. So, but it is what it is, isn't it? It's a colouring book, that's how he's designed to draw this particular book, but it's a beautiful book. I'm happy now that I've done one that I kind of feel I can have a go. There is a couple particular at the front that I'm very tempted to start. Like this, I think is stunning. It's terrifying, isn't it? Because, yeah, there's a lot going on. Are these flowers? More flowers. Some kind of beads again. I don't know what these are. They look like seaweed or something. But yeah, there's a couple of these that I think are just absolutely stunning images that I would like to have a go at. This one also lovely. The whole book is stunning, let's be honest. But yes, my first one finished. Out of Serene, really pleased with it. Glad to get it finished. It still took me a long time. Then I've got a few buddy colours this month. Zoe's not been so well, has she, unfortunately, so Zoe didn't get hers done this month. I'm sure she'll pop hers on next month, so have a pop over to her channel from Zoe for Addicted to Colouring. This is in my Polar Bear Adventure Cruise by Yuruki Shiratori. And yeah, I've just done the first little intro page, so I think this is exploring the forest with a polar bear. There's no polar bear in my picture though, sadly. There's just the bunny. So this I did in Holbeins. I've used my Holbeins quite a bit this month, sorry. I just love the colour palette of them. They're just, yeah, really vivid. I love the greens in them. There's lots of these kind of fresh looking greens. And yeah, I quite like the little frog. He's cute. I kind of did him the same little oranges just to pick up around the flowers next to him, and the bunny's got the same orange on as well, just to kind of pull them all together a little bit. And yeah, just my 36 Artex paintbrush ink thing markers again in this. So a little bit on the green work around the edges of the palms, a little bit around the edge of the bunny just to get rid of the black lines, a bit around my frog. A little bit on some of the plants, but not all of them. I've left these ones with the darker on, and I can see I've used a dual hybrid there on the little sign because it's a little bit sparkly there at the bottom. But yeah, it was a pretty quick one, pretty easy one. This again, beautiful book. Thinking I might do another one of these next month. That balloon page is lovely, isn't it? But that's quite a big page. Yeah, anyway. We'll worry about that in a minute when I do the next one of these videos. But my first one in Polar Bear Adventure Cruise by Yuruki Shiratori. I see it's not focusing, but that, in case I've said it wrong, because I will have said it wrong. And then Mysterious Planets by Al Kono. I was doing this with Kathy. Kathy's had a bad month, so she didn't quite get to it. But somebody else, whilst we were doing it, Veronica Dunn 66 from Insta, did want to do this as well. So we were going to do it all three of us together. But unfortunately, Kathy didn't quite get there. So I shall pop Veronica's over the top. I might need to zoom out a bit, actually. I'll do it now. Pop Veronica's over the top so you can have a look at hers. We did this flower mandala page. It was quite a tricky little page, actually, because there's a lot of flowers in there, but then you've got this weird kind of crowny thing at the top, and for a while I was like, what is that when I was colouring it? But yeah, thank you Veronica for doing that with me. Always helps to have a bit of company, I think, sometimes. And then I have done this one. This is my first page in this book, so again it was a bit of a learning curve to see what it would work with. I have wet the page a bit, as you can see it has a little bit of it, but it's not too bad. I just used my Kaudash Museum aquarelle pencils on the background. I've kind of drawn this square border in. It literally was like the other page where it just goes all the way to the edge. And I didn't want to take it all the way into the spine, because sometimes that can cause problems, can't it? So I kind of just kept it into the square with my museums. They went a little bit lighter than I'd intended, but I've kind of just lived with it. Colour pencil wise, then I've used Prisma on here, quite unusually for me. My Grabby acrylic markers, my Artex acrylic markers, because there is, again, the line work is quite dark in some of this, and the shading in the line work goes into the petals and into the leaves, which I don't love. So in some of these I have painted out some of the shading in some of the petals and then worked over with my Prismas over the top, because you don't really want to see like loads of these kind of little lines in a flower, do you? So sometimes the pink ones I definitely painted out, and I think I did paint a little bit of them out in the purple ones and on the edges of some of these as well, just because it was getting on my nerves a bit. What else did I use? Bit of Signo, white gel pen, Pentel, dual hybrid. Oh yeah, and the crown. The weird crown that's kind of hovering in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it's not showing up very well. But yeah, there's a little bit of Pentel in the centre there. I can see it glittering, but I don't think you can so well today. Nope, it's not having it. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I do love a little flower page. I've done a bit of flowers this month. Flowers in nearly every single page so far, isn't it? But yeah, I do find them quite relaxing. I quite enjoyed doing it. So thank you very much to those two for persuading me to do this one, because a bit of company sometimes in a book you haven't started is actually quite helpful, isn't it? It's a funny book, this. I do like it. I probably won't ever do those letter things, but there's quite a few pages in here I do like. I like this page, it's quite cute. And I do like this circusy page. It's still winking at me at some point. I will do it. But yeah, there's some quite complicated pages, and then there's some quite simple pages in here, and this is kind of good in-between starting point. So I'm glad I've got started in Mysterious Planets by Al Kono. I probably said that wrong, sorry. Is that all my buddy colours? No, one more buddy colour. So I did message Kate to say, do you know there's a new one of these out? And of course we both ordered it at that point. So this is the new one, Kasugi's colouring book that travels through the seasons. So this is book 2 of this particular artist's work. This is obviously quite detailed, fine little pages. Kay obviously has done an amazing one. I'm going to struggle to get both of these on the page at the same time, so I'm going to lift my list off there, and I'm going to put Kay's on here. Kay has done an amazing job on hers. I love her background, just stunning background, and I think it kind of really pulls that page together. Really lovely page. I like it a lot. Thank you for doing this with this K. And then I shall slide mine in, because unfortunately it's going to be tricky to put these side by side because they're wide landscape ones. Yeah, it's quite a funny page, this one, isn't it? What's it called? The Kingdom of Stationery. It is cute. I think I did this right at the beginning of August for me. So, and I don't love detail pages. I don't do them very often because I get a bit fed up with the little ones. But I actually quite enjoyed this one. All the little bits and pieces. I think maybe it's because it was pencils and paintbrushes and rubbers and daft little things like that that I did. Yeah, I did quite enjoy it. And there are a few other pages in here that I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll do that one. I quite like that one as well. Which is quite unusual for me for a detail page. I'm normally a bit of a chicken. And surprisingly for me, you might need to sit down, but some of this is in polychromos. I never use them. Never. And I didn't use them a huge amount, I've got to be honest, but I thought, let's be sensible. These are tiny little things. We'll come in because they are so tiny. These are tiny little things. I'm going to need something that's going to stay a bit sharper. So I did start with my Faber-Castell polychromos. I still don't love them, I've got to be honest. I have my Pablos, Caran d'Ache Pablos in the same pencil case, and I did find I was happier with the Pablos. I prefer the colour palette of the Pablos. So more of it is in Pablos than Faber-Castell, but I still thought they would be useful to having them together. You know, you've got a few different colour choices because I've got them together in the same pencil case. Apparently I used some Brut Fury macarons. I didn't know I had them in the same pencil case, but I've written them down, so they must be. I suppose because there's no kind of like really soft, light colours. Occasionally I do miss those Holbeins for that I got used to having that nice pastel palette. So I was probably missing those. Background was Caran d'Ache Neos 2. So obviously crayoned on, then wet. I don't love the background. I think it kind of did need another something going on with it, but I was so doing all this, I kind of thought, no, I'll live with it, I'll live with it. A bit of Signo Sparking Gel pens, some Dual Hybrid Pentel pens, Grabby acrylic pens, just pens. I didn't use a huge amount of acrylic pens though, because this is so tiny. Realistically, you can't take the lines out on work like this. Occasionally I've put some metallic bits and pieces here and there. You can kind of just about see, if I tilt it, that there's quite a bit of glittery sparkleness in there. But yeah, it's quite a different page for me. Bit of a learning curve on what I like in here, how this paper's working. I think this is only my second page. I think I've done one in the other book, and obviously I've done one in this one. This one's a little bit bigger. I don't know. I do quite fancy doing another one in it, so we'll see how we go. Oh, what have I done now? Oh, pulled the French flap thing off. But yeah, my first page in Kazugi's colouring book that travels through the seasons by, oh, I didn't do the by earlier, did I? Nishimura, Noriko and Yuki. Okay, I've probably said it wrong. But yeah, I do like the cover of this one. Sorry, Kay, I'm just taking you off for now. Yeah, I do like the cover on this one. It kind of feels a bit more watercolory, doesn't it? The way they've done it on here. It took the wetness okay. Maybe you could watercolour in some of it. We shall see. We shall see. Maybe next time I shall try. Then this one you'll have seen a little bit if you've been on the channel this month, because I did use it in my Artex video, Garden Enchantments by Angelica Scudamore. So I've started, this was my first page in here. This paper is lovely paper. But yeah, I've started this page. So if you watched my video, you will have seen me do quite a lot of this page just with those 36 markers from Artex, so the brush markers. So all this blue background is those markers. I think I used about 3 of the different markers and just a wet brush. Again, you can see me doing this in the video if you want to know how to do it. But yeah, all the blue bits are those Artex paint brush pens. They're really good for a background. It's like, I would normally do a background like this in watercolour paint or in coloured pencil. Obviously it takes a long time doing it like that. That was a much quicker background for me, and I'm really enjoying those pens for that. And then I also did in the video these fish in the pens as well, so all these big fish, and I think I did do these little ones as well eventually as well in the brush pens first, and then I just got out my Artex coloured pencils to add some shading over the top. So again, always test whatever acrylic markers you're going to do this with first to see if it will work on the paper that you're trying to do this on. I did a play about with these first, so I was fairly confident that these pens would dry flat enough that I could work over with a colour pencil over the top. So I did kind of blend them together first. So I did kind of yellow to orange, yellow to green, yellow to orange, and light purple to dark purple in the pens first. But then I've used the colour pencil over the top to add more shading and just get a bit more depth to the fish. Again, I did record myself doing all the big fish so you could see that kind of process happening. So if you want to see how I've done that, by all means pop back to that Artex video. I'll maybe pop it in the description below just in case you want to have a look to see how I've actually used them to paint. But yeah, this page has got a huge amount of paint pen on. Obviously I've then used them to take all the line works out, although looking at it I've missed that bit. Bad Wendy. But I did take all the line works out and on these little kind of berry looking things that I've added. But yeah, considering there's only 36 colours in there, they're such an adaptable shades of colours that they've picked. And I was quite surprised how much I was able to do with those pens. And the pencils work great over the top. But like I say, test the paper you're working on. It will work on some papers. It may not work on all. It won't work with all acrylic markers. Some have more plastic in, and if they're very plasticky you'll struggle to get your pencil to layer over the top. So if you're going to do this technique with other pens, not the brands I've shown, just do a bit of test first to see whether those will dry in a way that you're happy with to work over. But yeah, I really enjoyed using them. They were great pens. I like how bright and colourful this is. I think my only issue, which you may be able to see, is obviously this goes right into the spine of this book and you cannot, for love nor money, prise it apart. So it's a little bit messy down the spine, down there, because I can kind of see bits that I haven't coloured, but you just can't get the implements into that space. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this page. It was fun. I love the colours. The fish are cute. I like the background. This was just a pure fun page, and I've loved working with the markers. I know I like my acrylic markers, but I think these are my favourites. I just need now 100 more colours, please, Artex, because they're going to be an addiction, I think. But yeah, love doing that page. Enjoyed working in this book as well, other than the spine. There's a lot of leafy pages in here, but I quite fancy that kind of butterfly page, and I'm thinking I could use my markers on that page as well quite easily. We'll see. But yeah, I've quite enjoyed it. The paper in this book's great. If you can still get hold of it, I do recommend this book completely. Great paper in it. God Enchantments by Angelica Scudamore. Can't get my teeth around it. Sorry. And then another first, in fact that was my first page in that book as well, and this is also my first. Are these all firsts? I think they are. All month I've done first pages in those books, so that's pretty good. No favourites. So this is my last one for the month, which was new to me about 2 months ago now in my Aladdin haul. So Desert Fox Mysterious Travel Colouring Book by, helps if my camera would actually focus, Park UB, I'm not even going to go there, that person. Desert Fox. It's cute. It's a cute book, and I have enjoyed this. And this book has these lovely kind of pre-printed pages on the other side, so you've got something you can follow. So I did, excuse me, get my notes off the other side. I did this one this month, and this is already a lovely cute image, isn't it? But the colours are quite soft and muted, and you know me, I can't do soft and muted. I have to do it how I like to do it, although you might be spotting the problem I have with this book. How frustrating. Yeah, we'll go there first. So yeah, obviously this has the print on from this next page, and the paper in this is nice. I like this paper. I've enjoyed working on it. I haven't got this wet. I've used no wet medium on this page at all. It's just all colour pencil and a bit of art marker. But as you see, it came out. It only has a glued spine, and I think me having it flat to work on, and then obviously I'm working into this area, that was enough pressure just to pull it out of the spine. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this book now, because that is frustrating, isn't it? I'm thinking I might have to take it apart and bind it. I think that's maybe the only option, because I do love this book. I think the drawings in them are beautiful. The print in it is lovely. It was really nice to be able to go, oh, hold on, what's this little bit here? Is that part of the tree? Is it part of a leaf? And to be able to check sometimes when it's just line drawings, sometimes you're not always sure, are you? So actually having a coloured version next to it, even if I don't do exactly the same, it's really useful. And I love that about it. And like I say, I've mainly done this purely in colour pencil, and I've really enjoyed the colour pencil on this surface. I did do this background with my Tombow brush pens. Again, it's got this kind of stripy effect, so I thought, actually, you know what, I'm going to deliberately do something that's a bit stripy. Again, I've worked over a little bit with colour pencils here and there, but in the end I thought, you know what, I'm just going to leave it like that. I kind of like it as it is. Then it's Luminance and Derwent Lightfast I've used for, excuse my emails, I should have muted it, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. But yeah, Luminance, Cavendish Luminance and Derwent Lightfast, just for some more greens, because there's a lot of green on this page, so I did pinch a few Lightfast in to help. Little bit of Super Golden Marker, just where this little string of lights is at the bottom. Yeah, you see. Artex paint pens, again, the 36 set. Jelly Roll, white, oh, just for these little lights, because the lines on them were so fine. I needed something super fine to go over them, but yeah, I have, again, more flowers. I seem to have had a flowery August month. I've loved working on this though. I was gutted when it was coming out. I was like, stop coming out, and then by the time I'd finished last night, literally finished this last night, yeah, it was all out. I was like, every time I turn the page, more of it's falling out. No, stop. But cute. I just think this book is so cute. Yeah, I've really loved it. Loved working on it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I don't really want to take the book apart to bind it, but I can't kind of tape it in, because obviously there's no space to tape it into the next page without taping it onto the next image. So I'm thinking for now a paper clip is going to have to do, if I can see any, which I can't probably see any in my drawer of shame. I'll find one later. But yeah, for now it's just getting placed in there. Sadly. You're a naughty book. And I like it so much as well. I was so disappointed that it's coming out. It's got this lovely glittery cover. But yeah, Desert Fox, Mysterious Travel colouring book. I think there is a second one of these, isn't there? I am tempted, but it has kind of put me off a little bit because they're coming out. But it's so lovely. The book is so lovely. Look at that. That's cute. Every page I'm like, yes, I want to colour that. Cute. I do want to do this. I do love this kind of red orange sky that they've done, and the nice reflection in the flagstones. Some nice attention to detail in this book. Anyway, I'm just waffling on now. And that's all I've got done. I've not got loads done. I've had to do jobs around my home and various other things that are not always fun but are necessary. And when you've got a bit of time, sometimes you have to do these things, don't you? So I would have liked to have sat here and done more, but I've enjoyed what I've done. And that's what's important, isn't it? Interested to see what your favourites is. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed some of it, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying your colouring. Bye bye.